All right, so just a quick video on how to solve a linear or graph a linear inequality when it's in standard form. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure we put it in y equals mx plus b. So we want to solve for y basically. And in order to solve for y, that means we need to get y by itself. So I'm going to start here by subtracting 3x to the other side, because if we want to get y by itself, we first got to get the 2y by itself. So in doing that, that's going to give me 2y is greater than negative 3x minus 2. Now, I like to put the x term first, just because if we're solving and we're trying to put it in y equals mx plus b, that comes first in the equation. Then I'm going to divide by 2. Now, I do not need to flip the sign here because the 2 is positive, but I do need to simplify. So if I simplify here, if I divide, I'm going to take that 2 and I'm going to divide it by both terms. So this is going to be negative 3 over 2x, and this is going to be minus 1. Now, if I'm going to look at this graphically, and I'm going to actually plot this, I have a greater than symbol here. So for my greater than symbol, that means I'm going to shade above, and it's going to be a dash line. Okay, so I'm going to start by plotting my y-intercept, and my y-intercept is going to be at negative 1. Now my slope is negative 3 over 2, so that tells me that I'm going to go down 3 and right 2. So from that point, I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, right 2, and there's my new point. I could do it again if I wanted to. Down 1, 2, 3, right 2. And there's my another point. Now, when I actually plot this, I'm going to plot this using a dashed line. Okay? And I'm going to shade above. Now, when I do my shading, I like to actually draw arrows. So if I'm shading above, I go to the line and I draw arrows up to show above. And then from there, I can do my shading. And anything that falls in that region is a true value. It is a solution that makes that point true. So if I were to actually check this, so let's say I pick the point 1, 1. Okay, so I'm saying 1, 1 is a solution. That's my x, that's my y. So this is going to be 3 times 1 plus 2 times 1. That should be greater than negative 2. Well, 3 plus 2 equals 5. 5 is greater than negative 2. That's true. All right, so let's look at it in Desmos and let's see if we actually graph this correctly. So in Desmos, I can type 3x plus 2y is greater than negative 2. And I should be able to see that at my values, I do have that dashed line, and I do have it shaded above. And you can always check a point. So the point 1, 1 was in that region, in that shaded area. Now, anything that falls on a dashed line does not work. Okay, so if I go back and let's say I check the point, the actual intercept. So if I check 0, negative 2. 0, negative 2 should not work because it's on the dashed line. A dashed line is not included. All right, so I'm going to plug that in. So I have 3 times 0 plus plus 2 times negative 2 is greater than negative 2. Well, the 3 and the 0 go away. Negative 4 is greater than negative 2 is not a true statement. So that's the reason that anything that falls outside of the shaded region or a dashed line is not true. It's not a solution. All right, so let's actually do another example. And if I'm looking at this problem, I have negative 4x, and I'm going to do minus 3y is greater than 18. All right, so again, I need to solve for y in order to graph this. So I'm going to start by adding 4x. So I have negative 3y is greater than 4x minus 18. Again, I like to put the x term first, just like it would be in y equals mx plus b. And now I'm going to divide by negative 3. Now, because I'm dividing by that negative, that means that I'm going to need to flip my sign now. So this is going to become less than. And I'm also going to simplify. So 4 divided by negative 3, that's going to wind up being negative 4 over 3x. And I have negative 18 divided by negative 3. And that's going to wind up being plus 6. So again, if I were to graph this, this is less than, so it's going to be shaded below. And it's going to have a dash line. So I'm going to go to positive 6. And then my slope is telling me to go down 4 and right 3. So I'm going to go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then right 3. And again, it's going to be dashed. But I need to make sure my shading is below the line. So I'm going to draw arrows. So I'm going to go to the line and draw arrows down. And I'm going to shade where the arrows tell me to, which is below the line. Again, you can check that in Desmos and see if your shading and everything is correct. So I have negative 4x minus 3y is greater than negative 18. And you should be able to see that the shading is below. I do have a dashed line, and you can pick any point within there and check it out.